Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Computer science. The assignment of particular areas of a magnetic disk to particular data or instructions. A share set aside for a specific purpose. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. Computer science. The assignment of particular areas of a magnetic disk to particular data or instructions. A share set aside for a specific purpose. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. The apportionment of seats in the House of Representatives is based on the relative population of each state. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. A secret rendezvous, especially between lovers. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. The act of distributing something to designated places or persons. A duty that you are assigned to perform, especially in the armed forces. The act of distributing something to designated places or persons. The first task is the assignment of an address to each datum. The act of putting a person into a non-elective position. Law. A transfer of property by deed of conveyance. An undertaking that you have been assigned to do, as by an instructor. The instrument by which a claim or right or interest or property is transferred from one person to another. An individual quantity of food or drink taken as part of a meal. His portion was larger than hers. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. Money or property brought by a woman to her husband at marriage. Give out. Your overall circumstances or condition in life, including everything that happens to you. Success that was her portion. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. I read a portion of the manuscript. A proportion in relation to a whole, which is usually the amount per 100. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. They all did their share of the work. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. He wanted his share in cash. A sharp steel wedge that cuts loose the top layer of soil. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. Death gets more than its share of attention from theologians. Give out as one's portion or share. Have, give, or receive a share of. We shared the cake. Any of the equal portions into which the capital stock of a corporation is divided and ownership of which is evidenced by a stock certificate. He bought 100 shares of IBM at the market price. Communicate. I'd like to share this idea with you. Have in common. Our children share a love of music. Use jointly or in common. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. Statistics. An arrangement of values of a variable showing their observed or theoretical frequency of occurrence. The spatial or geographic property of being scattered about over a range, area, or volume. Worldwide in distribution. The act of distributing or spreading or apportioning. The commercial activity of transporting and selling goods from a producer to a consumer. A limitation on imports. The quota for Japanese imports was negotiated. A prescribed number. All the salesmen met their quota for the month. A proportional share assigned to each participant. A new apportionment, especially a new apportionment of congressional seats in the United States on the basis of census results. A share that has been allocated again. A collection of things wrapped or boxed together. A wrapped container. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. An extended area of land. Cover with strips of canvas. Parcel rope. Divide into parts. The developers parceled the land. Make into a wrapped container. 18th President of the United States, Commander of the Union Armies in the American Civil War, 1822 to 1885. Give as judged due or on the basis of merit. Funds are granted to qualified researchers. The act of providing a subsidy. Let have. Grant permission. Law. A transfer of property by deed of conveyance. Scottish painter. Cousin of Lytton Strachey and member of the Bloomsbury Group, 1885 to 1978. Bestow, especially officially. Grant a degree. A contract granting the right to operate a subsidiary business. Give over. Surrender or relinquish to the physical control of another. Be willing to concede. I grant you this much. Allow to have. Grant a privilege. United States actor, born in England, who was the elegant leading man in many films, 1904 to 1986. Transfer by deed. Grant land. Any monetary aid. A right or privilege that has been granted. The act of rationing. During the war, the government imposed rationing of food and gasoline. A new apportionment, especially a new apportionment of congressional seats in the United States on the basis of census results. A new apportionment, especially a new apportionment of congressional seats in the United States on the basis of census results. An agreement between parties, usually arrived at after discussion, fixing obligations of each. He rose to prominence through a series of shady deals. Wood that is easy to saw, from conifers such as pine or fir. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Succeed in doing, achieving, or producing, something, with the limited or inadequate means available. Often followed by, of, a large number or amount or extent. A deal of trouble. Direct the course of, manage or control. A particular instance of buying or selling. It was a package deal. Give out as one's portion or share. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. This book deals with incest. Do business. Offer for sale as for one's livelihood. She deals in gold. Administer or bestow, as in small portions. Deal a blow to someone. The cards held in a card game by a given player at any given time. Be in charge of, act on, or dispose of. I can deal with this crew of workers. A plank of softwood, fir or pine board. Behave in a certain way towards others. He deals fairly with his employees. Distribute cards to the players in a game. Who's dealing? Give, a specific card, to a player. He dealt me the queen of spades. Sell. Deal hashish. Take action with respect to, someone or something. How are we going to deal with this problem? The act of apportioning or distributing something. The captain was entrusted with the deal of provisions. The act of distributing playing cards. The deal was passed around the table clockwise. The type of treatment received, especially as the result of an agreement. He got a good deal on his car. The act of providing a subsidy. Money, or other benefits, obtained as a subsidy. The act of providing a subsidy. Money, or other benefits, obtained as a subsidy. The branch of engineering science that studies, with the aid of computers, computable processes and structures. The procedure of calculating, determining something by mathematical or logical methods. The branch of engineering science that studies, with the aid of computers, computable processes and structures.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.